on YouTube. And hopefully Spotify and other platforms.
And
but you know, we are an actual.
We're growing.
We're real thing.
That's exciting.
And we're back.
We're so back.
For real.
We're actually back.
And we're back. Life was just
lifing.
You know.
But no, we promised and we actually promised consistency.
Yes,
this time.
we do.
We don't want to put it out yet as to what consistency looks like.
Yes,
we're still figuring it out. But we're definitely going to be consistent.
Yeah, and we're moving, and we're not rebranding.
No,
but we are deciding to just take a leap of faith and do things big and better the way we want it to be. We're not wasting time and making ourselves small.
Yes,
we're going as big as we can right now by coming on podcasts. I mean, on YouTube and Apple Play and Spotify, and then we increase from there rather than limiting ourselves just because we're limiting ourselves. But we're back. We're good. I feel like we are healthier. We are happier. We are
makeup.
We did. We did our makeup. We're just better people, okay? We are better people.
We even have a manager.
We have a manager.
Mundi.
What's the bomb? She's probably freaking out right now because we started shooting later than what we were supposed to.
But it's okay.
But that's fine.
We're
the point
here now.
is we're moving.
We're here now.
Yeah. And we can't wait for us to have a flow and consistency and whatever. But
and unfortunately, there are a lot of episodes that we missed and crucial moments that happened within the TV shows. But we're gonna wrap it up. We're finishing it up, and then we'll start off on brand new stuff and stick to it until the end.
Because there are some new exciting stuff coming. Reality TV this year is on fire. Hey, listen, bar after bar. South African reality TV has never been this lit.
Dude,
it's on. Very exciting stuff. And so we want to just wrap this up.
Yes, finish. Keyword finish.
Talk about finishing. It's time to wrap up Mummy Club. And it is reunion season.
And I can't lie, a part of me was very anxious about this reunion because in my head I'm sometimes when a season has been so good, well, not that the season was good, but there was a lot to talk about, and then you get to the reunion and it's just a letdown. So I'm so glad that this reunion is giving everything that it needs to give. Can we talk about...
It's scary. Oh, before we start, can we talk about how I can tell that hosts are now starting to listen? They're starting to be on social media. And I say this to say before, I think a lot of times we made it disappointing with the hosts. The hosts were always trying to be, not spicy. They were trying to be, just mediating for real. Okay, yes, you're a mediator.
Yes.
But, I just felt like they wouldn't let people take accountability. It was just my job is to come here, ask questions.
Yes.
But I can tell hosts and listeners, Don't Be was asking right questions. She was. I know some people felt in some moments, and I also feel in some moments she could have, but I did see her at least try. I did see
but
her.
I've always enjoyed Ndombi, even from last season.
I liked her.
Ate because I think with her she's so in tune. You can tell that she's someone who watches the show. And in as much as people are saying she's biased,
Yeah.
But unfortunately that's the nature of reality TV. There are people you're going to like, people you're gonna be what? Why did you do that? So I feel with her she's always kinda no, but
very in tune.
Last season you did the same thing. Doing it again.
Yes. But I feel even she's heightened. Because I also always liked her.
True.
But I think this season, I saw her say things that I feel she would have maybe in other times thought about first. And Shame, one thing about her, she's not afraid to look in the eyes. So,
no, she's not.
She doesn't she looks you in the eye. I love her so much. I love her. And her dress was more gorgeous than all the other ladies.
Oh my
god. I thought she was gorgeous. And then the ladies?
What a letdown. What a letdown.
Ladies.
Whoever's in charge of the wardrobe.
Plastic, and that's so right. I didn't like what they did to Noxie. What was that?
Noxie, I was so underwhelmed. I was
what is that outfit? I don't know, guys. No.
In terms of wardrobe, Shame, they failed us dismally this season. But get Ascolapo. We're here to talk about them. Before we get into the fire, I want us to talk about the person who decided not to show up.
I said to Asake, what I think they need to do now is put that in their contracts, that it is mandatory for you to come and do the reunion.
This is nonsense.
Because I'm tired.
There's always going to be this one person who decides to do about no.
And it's always the most problematic.
That's my
person.
chat.
Like, why are you problematic but you can't come and stand for it?
I even said to Palisa, I was like, I low-key feel like with the Peladi, during shooting, she actually thought she ate.
No, she was sure.
She thought
very sure.
Everyone is going to think, oh my gosh, we love this girl, putting Noxie in her place, this, that, and the third. And that's not what she got.
No.
Then now she's like, oh no, this actually...
But
when she said everything that happened actually caused more harm to her family, I'm thinking, what?
Talking about that, you'd wonder, if she didn't come to Rian, why the hell is she saying this on a fucking podcast? Listen, guys, please. No. You're not on a podcast show. You're not on a podcast reality show. The show was not on the podcast. The show gives you a platform to come and speak. You go out your way to find another platform to go and speak where you don't have to face your consequences and you can just speak and speak alone.
No.
You're wrong. That's
very wrong.
Now you're on a podcast. You can do a podcast, but you can't do the reunion.
Why?
On the reunion day, you're sick. You're sick.
What are you so scared of?
You're sick.
She's in hospital.
Really?
She said she's in hospital.
Really? Really?
Conveniently so.
That's so convenient.
On the day that they're shooting.
That's so convenient.
All of a sudden she's in hospital.
They were driving her to the
reunion. Then they have to turn around. Because of what? You did yourself a disservice by not going. Because now everyone's like, who the fuck does this bitch think she is?
No.
Who do you think you are?
That was not a cute
You said everything wrong and you bullied that girl up until she wanted to commit suicide only for you to not show up. What the fuck is that?
Ikona, that thing. Is it there, Mara? That thing. She knows she's the leader of bullying. And she knows she's going to have to take it by the chest.
Because from the show, we could tell that this girl cannot take accountability
she can't.
for anything.
She can't.
She always has to do wrong and then turn around and play the victim.
Yeah. Every apology meeting that was said, she was victim A, Sana, and the other one was the murderer.
Talk about the fact that Ulendoza, who's this thing? Them having a problem with the fact that Mrs. J is standing up or standing with Unoxie. I don't understand what's the big issue here, because even I remember during the season, Peladi kept saying, no, Mrs. J, you biased, Mrs. J, you biased, Mrs. J, you
every
biased.
day.
And I'm thinking, but if she's standing with Unoxie, who is on the right side of things, then what's so wrong?
But also, why are her people not biased?
My thing, that's exactly where I'm going. I feel like the real issue is that she's not standing with her.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They wanted it to be the us versus Noxie team.
Yes.
And that's just not how it turned out, because Mrs. J has a backbone.
And that was going to work for her, because I guess she's going to come to the reunion with a squad.
Oh, yes.
Noxie being one man. And that's why also Uvuyi hates Rosetta. Because the one thing she hates about her is that she's her spokesperson.
Yes, that's her biggest thing. That's her biggest thing.
That's her biggest thing. And that's because they want to isolate her. That's how bullying works. I don't know why these women keep denying bullying. Perhaps what we need to do is just go back a little bit in time when you talk about high school, primary. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go back and let's define the word bullying. Because you isolating someone, intentionally not wanting people to back them up, intentionally wanting to make other people go against her, that is literally bullying. Please do not make us look like we're stupid. Don't like it. Don't make us look like we don't know how to define bullying. Like, you're bullies.
No, they are bullies. I think for me, it's the fact. I think it's about now when I don't know whether it was Noxie or Mrs. J brought up the whole issue about the fact that they are raising daughters. They are raising girl children. So it's like, what kind of example are you setting for those children? And I think a lot of people, that's been what's been trending on social media. And about what kind of example are you guys setting for your children? And so it's only when they start reflecting, or they started reflecting on that they started being like, oh shit, like, actually, maybe what we're doing is not right. Now, all of a sudden, they're acting like it wasn't bullying. It was bullying.
They should just take accountability. Like, honestly. Do you think Noxie's messy?
To be honest with you, I don't know whether I'm clouded. Maybe I am biased. Maybe I'm a Mrs. J, because I think, for me, everything that all the other ladies did overpowers anything that Noxie could have ever done to me. So I don't think Noxie is messy, because in my head, I'm even literally trying to think about what is it that Noxie did, like, actually, like, what even allows Untombi to pose that question of, is Noxie messy?
I think I know, and I knew they were gonna ask this. I had a feeling they were gonna come for it. So my girl Noxie, I agree with Happy saying it's neither here or there. Like, one can say she is, but one can't say she's not. In the sense that I don't think in the beginning she was. I think in the beginning my girl was just being herself.
Yes.
I think the mistake she made, which is what we spoke about, is that she just came expecting everyone to be a good person and just lived life.
Yes.
Just addressed them as her friends, as her circle. I don't think she was being messy. I think she was just being herself in those moments, even when she was busy calling them bra and whatnot.
And dicks and
dicks. That was the topic. I think my girl was just being who she is.
Yeah.
But after they wronged her, when Mrs. J started going off on Paladi, and then Miss J walked out, and then she came back Unoxi. No, when to Miss J was like, yes, Tommy. I forgot about that. Favorite part of the whole, guys, that era of Noxie. So after they did that whole era of Noxie, I personally enjoyed it. Where she would sit and she goes to Mrs. J, she's like, yes, and then they're sitting in a circle, and she goes, guys, but let's not fight. And then she goes in her diary session, and she says another thing that's nasty. I think that's where it came from, because in those last few episodes, and I knew that people were gonna ask it because it's fresh in their memories. And I knew they were gonna be like, she's messy, and also knew those ones there. You know, they don't have anything to cling on except the dicks and the whatever, which she did gracefully apologized,
took accountability for.
Even like went deep on the fact that she was disappointed in herself. Like I apologized to myself because I realized that was not cutesy for even myself. So they realized that fuck, this person's actually self-aware, and that's all they had. Then what they had left was the messy thing. So they were trying to also find stuff. They were trying to hold on. So I knew they were gonna bring up the messy thing because it was very fresh.
I still want to be on the Noxie train and ask you, what did you think about Happy's response to when Noxie asked her, "Bruh, you brought me here."
Oh, you, but then she said,
and then whatever she said. What did you think about that? Because that was nothing.
Excuses.
Gibberish.
If we're speaking about Her Majesty in general in this reunion, it is very clear that she did not expect the response that she got. She did not expect for the turnaround to happen like that. Melding accordingly, guys, viewers, when they're with you. But when they're not, they're not. And you must never ever in your life think we don't change our minds.
Thank you.
Because I think that's what happened with Her Majesty.
I
mentioned this.
Wait, I even wrote in my notes, I said, I think the public opinion on Her Majesty humbled her, because I think she's always humbled, like, been on top of the world because she knows that people are supporting her, people love her, people like her. She came there so humbled, like on the floor. She was soft spoken.
She was basically on her knees begging to forgive her.
Damn.
I'm not even trying to be rude. She was humbled, and not even, you know, that humbled where like umuntu like is humbled like and I got some food. No, she was humbled like, I'm sorry guys, like, please take me back. And that's what I'm saying. They always forget that Sichiga Manche. Every answer of hers, I feel, was very calculated. Every answer of hers was her trying to center that I am wrong. I'm wrong. And then also, like, if she's defending herself, her defense is that, oh, but you know, in the past, people just...
What was that?
They bring people and they turn their backs on you.
I still don't understand it.
Those points clash, because she said, obviously, I didn't know Noxie. I just had to set up her coming into the thing by asking her to sell her whatever. She made that clear that they didn't know each other outside of that. The person who clearly she knew was Fuyi, but Noxie knew her. She knew her from that setup, right? And she made that clear that that's our relationship. It's not like I knew her before. And then she claims that in the past, people, you bring them and then they're not loyal to you, but you bring them and they're your people, your and friends. I'm like, okay, but then you're contradicting yourself because you said you don't know your friend. You didn't know her. You didn't know her. So what do you mean she's your friend? Vuyi, maybe you should have done that too, because Vuyi is your actual friend. But Unox, if you're claiming you don't know her, but then you turn around and you say in the past, people who know you are your friends, and then they turn your back on the thing. I'm like, what? What are you saying? My girl wanted to just say sorry, basically. She could actually say sorry and walk off. She doesn't want to be there. She say sorry. I take myself out. And you know what I mean? And please, I'm begging you.
Because to be honest, I actually even saw, I don't know whether it was on TikTok or Twitter, someone saying, happy, no Vuyi. You could tell that before the reunion, there was a conversation that was had that, no, Chemi, me and you, we're gonna like show them this, that, and the third. And then when they got there, we was still on that tip. You could tell, but
There's a
she
point.
went in there telling herself, you know what, I'm taking zero accountability. All of you guys were wrong. You guys don't understand what went down behind the cameras. And what's her name? Her Majesty couldn't even look V in the eye. The entire time they're sitting like this, even if she's talking about her or to her, she's just here like, and
we kept trying to look at her.
She kept rolling her eyes because she's thinking, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, there was a plan. That there was. And Pelani was in the plan.
Absolutely.
Feel like Her Majesty and I backed out of it last minute. Because they seemed like they were cool in the car when they were
They were.
It seemed like they were cool. My girl backed up last minute. I also think she backed up when she realized, like, you know, when you sit in a moment and you realize,
Also, you could tell the energy. Mrs. J came guns blazing, and like, even Undombi had the tweets, had everything. But no, guys, so she knew. But
I think she was like, I'm fucked.
She had no leg to stand on.
There was a point where she was like, when he was talking.
What about when she lost?
And then when she lost, there was just, I think she realized the stupidity. She said, "Wait." No. She said to Miss Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it was off camera because the camera was on Dombi, but you heard the thing and they put subtitle. Yeah, shout out. And she said, hey, Miss Sunday.
What does that mean?
Means, are you not sleeping? Wake up. She said, don't sleep with her back there.
No, she didn't. No. No. No, she did not.
I would have put that clip. It's so funny because the camera's not on her. Like, it's not on her.
I understand this whole chat. Yeah, Gandombi, every time they sort out a situation or like they tell things are getting rowdy, then she's like, okay, but how do we fix this? This is not about fixing.
No.
This is not about fixing. No. This is about confrontation.
No.
But I talk about it.
I forgive you because I guess you have to call yourself a mediator, and I guess part of the job of mediating, you have to fix
it. Real. No, that's real. No, real.
Like, no, actually. I was like, you know what, girl, you're just doing your job. Even they know. Even they know that there is no such thing. Mrs. J. Oh, a girl, a woman. No, not a girl. A woman.
Firstly, can we all admit that we all know that Mrs. J went to Mrs. Mops' house and she sat down with Mrs. Mops. Mrs. Mops gave her notes.
No. And she went to Mrs. Mops and she was like, Chumi, because I know both of them. I'm sure that's what they said. No, but Chumi, they high-pitched voices. Like, I just know.
Absolutely.
They sat there with their beautiful high-pitched voices, ladylike demeanors, beautiful hair, makeup, in their heels, because we know she cannot not do the heels. Like, she sat at Mrs. Mops' big house.
Oh, yes.
And she brought her flowers and they spoke about it. And Mrs. Mops said, darling, drag them.
It's giving there's that meme of that girl holding the lighter and the spray going. That was Mrs. J. Mrs. J?
That Mrs. Mops for real stood on business, does not fear a soul.
No, but you know what I loved about her is the fact that she did exactly that. It wasn't a matter of, oh my gosh, I was wrong.
No.
So now I need to sit on the floor and take the beating. No, Mrs. J, she took accountability.
Yes.
She said, yes, I'm wrong about A, B, C, D, E, and F. And if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it and confront it right now. But that still doesn't change what you did to Uno.
It doesn't change
anything about what you did. And the fact that you can't take any accountability. Also, I love the fact that she brought up that emergency meeting. Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say, shout out to vlogging. And let me tell you why shout out to vlogging. There's this lady there who does production on the reunion, who was working on the reunion.
Sure.
And she was vlogging. She said they started, so their call time was like early in the morning, like 9. But they only started shooting at like 3, or the lady started doing makeup at 3. Because that day was the day the episode was coming out. The day they shot the thing was the day the last episode was coming out. So they had to first watch the episode. So did Ntombi, so did the ladies, so did everyone. Gosh. And then process it. And then only then can they shoot the reunion. And that made sense why my girl, Mrs. J, was upset. Because you must remember that last episode is when they started talking about her bleaching and the whatever. So I think, yes, she was ready to give them. Like, she was ready to
that's insane.
But you must remember, Mrs. J also is a very babe, like
Yes, she's very demure.
She gives, but she will think about the giving. I think what made her say, actually,
fuck it.
Actually, who am I to be the bigger person? I know if there's one thing about my girl, she loves to be a bigger person. Like, and it's not even pretending like that's just who she is. She loves to be a bigger person. And she said,
she heard the black hands, and
she said, nice.
When they said, no, Johnny, I get the knuckles are stubborn. The knuckles are stubborn.
As a dark-skinned woman, you're embarrassing. Mrs. J watched that episode, and she swallowed her spit, and she said, it's on.
Like a scone.
She said,
it's so on. Let's Jay, you could literally, I could visually, like, see, like, physically you can tell Jay, like, even restless, you can tell she just wants to speak.
And she wasn't, you see when they start now, where they go into their room,
yes,
she didn't seem like she had a lot on her chest, but when she said,
no.
So that's why I said,
there was even a point, Balisa, where she's brought up something, and then Toby was like, wait,
we're gonna get
there.
And we can tell they're bringing it.
Oh, she was so mad. She was so mad. And I respect that. And there was even a point where she listed all these characteristics. She's like, when I think of a mother, I think of someone loving, caring, kind, matured. And when I came into the space, I thought that's what I was gonna I thought that's what I was gonna find. And there was zero of that. So you're saying they have none of that stuff? Not even one. And then she was like, production asked them, because they said it was an editing thing. And then production asked them, but okay, so if there's so much that we didn't show, but what did she do?
Because guess what? The cameras are still here. They're still, the clips are still everywhere.
That's the thing.
They have
unseen stuff.
We can release it.
But show us.
So where is it?
Name one.
Yeah, we can release, but I'm gonna need you to show me though, or at least tell me round about which hour was this?
Because that whole thing that Uhlasela Mafuta said about Unoxi, and the fact that she said in Doba, no, she got a jackpot with marrying that white man. In my head, I'm thinking they shot that entire time during the boat scene. So if really she said that, it could have been on camera.
Oh yes, because even Peladi said that apparently Unoxi was saying those things. I said, Peladi came up with lies.
No.
Because then after that she claimed she didn't know what Oxford Street is.
Can we talk about that? Oh my gosh, can we please talk about that?
But we're gonna get there. The point is, I realized that, these women sat and decided to come up with visions.
They did. They did.
I was like, they told themselves, if I lie, it's her word against mine.
Of course.
Like, it's her word against mine.
And absolutely, in their three-way call, they definitely said
all of them heard things that no one, not even the people who were filming the fucking show, know. But like Noxie said, she's married to a white man and it's achievement. I said, okay, roll the clips, mama.
Please. Need us to get into the Oxford Street thing. Because there's no way in hell. Because firstly, even when they replayed the clip, you can clearly see that Noxie is so confused about what Oxford Street is.
Noxie was...
It's on her face.
Far from confused. The diary session.
Even the fact that I was so mad that they didn't get into the whole Lebu Matosa thing. Because even in the clip it says, when Lebu Matosa, you're so old. Yeah. You're so old.
Yeah.
When Lebu Matosa, I'm gonna meet you at Oxford Street. Then Noxie was like, Oxford Street.
She was confused. My girl was confused. Even in the diary session, she was like, Oxford Street, what's that?
Because Valisa, if you are saying something that I said
in the air,
let's say it was an intimate, vulnerable moment that we had, then you say, I'm gonna see you at Oxford Street. Even if it's just like a moment where I'm like,
thank you.
So you bring that up?
I wrote that down. I said, even if Unoxi said that she was on Oxford Street and truly was, it's evil to bring it up in her face at the time.
Balisa, there's no way in hell, I don't care how vulnerable you are, how open of a person you are, that I have met you today. Tomorrow we are told that we are going on a trip. On the trip, I tell you that I was on Oxford Street.
Things were hard.
I went to Oxford Street. I would never do that.
I don't know. I know what's the worst part. I'm on a reality TV show telling you that information.
Besides that, Balisa, these two people have been going at each other's necks because of her asking her what she does for a living.
That's true.
There's no way Unoxi would go and open up to Vuyi.
That's true. to tell her she was on Oxford Road.
She
said if when Her Majesty came back and they were like, "Oh, where do you come from?" and she said brothel, why would that be funny? If she doesn't know where the fuck Oxford Road is. Also, why would she just say Oxford Road?
Besides that, exactly, Balisa.
Why would she?
My point is, she said that with so much conviction. She said that with you could tell in her eyes, that she knows exactly what she's seeing.
The only way you can English to excited. So what are you gonna do to me?
Kill me.
The only way you can get to me is to kill me. My girl turned around her head. And said, "I'll find you on Oxford Road." And then she goes, "Oh!" When I didn't say it, she goes, "Oh!"
What was that? The tantrum she kept having, the eye rolling that she was doing. Like, no, I don't want to get there yet. Can you please not get there yet? Because I'm about to get pissed. I'm about to get pissed if we go there. Wait, but before we get there, I want us to go into this whole Oxford Road thing then. Do you think she backed down because she knows the implications that had on her? Because firstly, not only is she throwing a jab at Unoxi, but also she's throwing a jab at people who actually do go and stand on Oxford Road. So is it a thing of like now she wants to take back what she's saying, but she can't because she's already said it and it's already out there?
Yeah, I think she realized that even admitting to it, what it means, like what you're saying, that it goes beyond Unoxi. It throws a lot of other people in the mix, right? A lot of other discussions in the mix. Because it also brings back, because one can say she's speaking from privilege. Other people don't have that luxury. They find themselves on Oxford Road for certain reasons. So is she implying that people on Oxford Road are just people who love to open their legs for money? Like, what is she saying about that? Because then it goes deeper, like it goes into the economic crisis that's happening. Like, it's way deeper than just saying Lunoxi's a whore. Which I think in that moment, that's what she wanted to say. But she realized that statement carries depth. There's things you can say and really like economy. I can say you're ugly. Yeah. And I don't think anyone is going to go and try place it in the economy or wherever. No one can. It's just a word. But then there's things like that you say that then it's commentary immediately to so many other things. And obviously that's based on where you're located, where you are, the type of life you live. You know what I mean? And she realized that.
I genuinely think that those ladies sat moment for moment and thought about, okay, this moment is being twisted and being made into this, so this is what we're gonna say. Because their whole narrative has always just been about Noxie and the fact that there are things that we don't see and the things that she does say. So they sat down and they thought to themselves, okay, for this moment, this is what we're gonna say she said. For this moment, this is what we're gonna say she said. And everything, Noxie's so confused. And my chat is, if really these things were being said and these things were happening, Mrs. J was always there, or Mrs. Sunday was always there. Why can't they back them up and be like, no, actually she did say she did. It's a lie.
Yeah, no.
It's a lie.
My girl realized that, hey, what I said could get me in some deep waters.
And I love it. Actually, let's get into V right now.
Let's start from the top.
Okay.
And when I say the top, I mean from the jump, my girl was rolling her eyes.
Oh wow.
She was.
Oh wow.
Then it was time for her to, and also proof that she's such a liar. Oh my gosh. And they caught her red-handed because they said to her, she said, Noxie said she was doing something for camera. She asked Noxie, are you doing this for the camera? Noxie said no. And there were other people that were there.
Okay.
This is in the beginning of the reunion. Okay. Other people were there. She asked Noxie, are you doing this for the camera? Noxie said no. She walks back in the thing. She says, Noxie says she's doing this for the camera. And then that becomes the narrative. So, because we also, and there were also more other ladies, Mrs. J was there specifically, and she said no. So, thingy, Undambi's like, well, it was clear. She said no. Yeah. So, also she said no. The clear, like, everything was a no. Like, everyone said. She said she apologizes for that. She's like, I apologize. I was wrong for that. I'm a bad person for that. Yes, I saw that. Bad person. And she wrote, that looked painful for her.
I think that was one of the things that she could not find any excuse for.
I also think she didn't think they were going to bring it up because it was a small thing.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, the facts are there. The camera is there. Everyone can see. Clear as day. And Noxie said no. So it was a matter of fuck like that. This is the one thing I'm actually going to have to say.
So she said, okay, at least it's in the beginning. Don't have to humble myself in the middle of my trance. And then we move to the shoulder. let's talk about the showdown. My girl.
Firstly, it's her forgetting that she said.
She admitted.
Wait. She said. Bui said in the back. No, the thing is, it's like I'm a big girl. She said she's a big girl, and in my head I'm thinking, okay. Like, what?
And
what
then,
does that have to do with anything? Because that is absolutely contradicting, which is why I feel like we're going to keep going back to this, which is why I keep saying it, but these people definitely had a meeting and sorted out what it is they're going to say. Because obviously, in the next thing, even in her meeting with Happy, she clearly said, no, Jimmy, I did that on purpose. Now, all of a sudden, you
she said it the whole time. At the table in her diary session, while it was happening, she admitted that she did it on purpose. Like,
now all of a sudden it's about size?
Yeah, she's never, ever, and I mean ever, made it about size, or Bumi's hair, or anything.
But if it's about size, you're taller than Unoxi. So you scooting just a little bit back will not allow you to see everything and everyone.
Noxie is going to come lean in forward. You're gonna have to lean in back. It's a setup.
What about the whole narrative of her saying that no, you're not in this? She doesn't allow herself to be in spaces where people can ask her what she does. I'm like, what? What do you mean you don't allow yourself to be in spaces? It's not about allowing yourself to be in spaces. It happens. So obviously, I think this leads us into the.
I was gonna
with Mrs. J.
She starts because let her pick me, Nashem. Okay,
let's talk about her passion. Even in my notes, I wrote the passion. She said, firstly, Mawufikelwa lidlozi.
Come on, BA in dramatic arts. Honors. So that was literally her movement. Literally her movement. Like, literally.
She said, Mawufikelwa lidlozi. Uyazilula. Uthi. Uyazilula. Mawufikelwa lidlozi. That was the best part. That was the best part, man.
I didn't know where she was going.
Already, I'm like, Like,
I wasn't sure what direction she was going.
On. And then she's like, what's been? Angeke ume. Ufikele lidlozi. Angeke ume. Ufikele lidlozi. Ume ngenyawo zakho. Ufikele lidlozi. Never. Asoze.
And sisters are royal. Mina. Royal.
Firstly, can we talk about the fact that it's about how she says her clan name? Because fun fact, that's my clan.
I wanted to laugh. That's why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's your clan name. That's what is making me.
I'm laughing. Firstly, Monday and I had a conversation about this when she said it the first time.
I thought I heard it.
Manyauza. I'm like,
hold on, I know.
I'm like, wait, am I confused? I didn't get it at first until she started getting into it. Ubani. Then I was like, oh wait, this is my clan name.
This is your clan name, Mama. It's you right there. It was like,
oh no. Secondly, let's get to the facts. Maybe in English and jazz. Maybe English and
jazz. Perhaps your honors degree does not put you on that level. Yeah.
Mrs. J said, I have royal ancestors. That's what she said. She never said royalty. She never said I am royalty. She said royal ancestors. Ulandoza Yena is saying, excuse me, do you know who I am?
I am Queen Elizabeth.
I'm Nyauza. I am royalty.
I am royal.
I'm thinking, what?
I am Elizabeth.
Wait, how do these two things correlate? Because this is not the first time she's bringing up this royal thing. And in my head, I'm thinking, these two things don't even correlate.
They're not the same, Mama.
They're not the same thing.
What are you?
So what's your point? Thirdly,
love her
you
so much.
go on and on and on and on and on. Ne? Then they like, so from what I can gather, when you are you have been initiated, you are a sangoma.
Now
then she said, then she said, no, the thing is, they did the first part, then the second part they did
No,
it wrong.
you know what is my favorite part? When she said, "Meleng yoqedelela," Mrs. J's response. You still have to go do the ring. So Ntombi said, "So yeah, fana, I fan." And that was the end of the fucking conversation. I said, period.
Can we applaud Mrs. J for the fact that she went on and on and on, and she thought she was gonna have a back and forth with Mrs. J. Mrs. J said, "I don't even talk about this."
The argument started with her saying that she asked her, Uguti, was it you or was it your clothes?
Yes.
She said it was me.
Yes.
She claimed Mrs. J said it was her clothes.
Yes.
But then we play it back, and indeed, she said it was not her.
From the beginning.
From the jump.
Yeah.
She's never denied. She kept saying it's a different version. I don't know if maybe it's the English. Again, we come back to comprehension skills. When she says there's different versions of me, she's now talking outside of it. She's saying as Mrs. J. Let's not talk about my colleague.
Yes.
As Mrs. J, the same way everybody else has different versions of them.
Absolutely.
Because we do not all exist in the same place exactly the same. That is not true. Mrs. J was saying, listen, this is just a version of me.
Yeah.
You got that. And she said, and Peladi got that version.
Yeah.
And that was that. And I'm standing on business. She didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
She continued her rant. Matter of fact, continued to stand up. And then you know what killed me? I thought I was punched when she said, she did get Dalela. I thought that punched me. What punched me and killed me was the fact that she was insinuating that Mrs. J is a fake Kobela.
Yes.
Clearly that's what she was trying to debate.
Yes.
Ne? Killed me. Because then she says, because Ntombi says, but you guys had something in common, did you guys always know? Then she says, yes, we spoke about it because Mrs. J came to me and said, Mele uyo teta emanzi. And indeed, that is her truth. Mele ayo teta emanzi. But she's fake?
You know what? I think her argument was this. I think her argument is the fact that she feels like the trances that she was having were fake.
Oh, she thinks her trances were fake.
Yes, I think in her head, because she made that whole point about the fact that she had a trance, and then she'd be like, Musa, don't hold me like that.
Yes.
So she's like, when you are in a trance,
you can't
say to someone, don't hold me like that. You are in it. You are not yourself. What. So that's her whole argument. She feels like it was performative. She feels like it was for TV. That's her whole chat.
I said she spoke about initiation school like it's the South African school system. She spoke about it like if it's not done like this, it's done wrong.
Then she thought she ate, and unfortunately
she didn't.
And you know what? You thought people hated you in the season.
Oh,
we hate you more now.
Oh,
we hate you more
Mama,
now.
people can't stand you now.
Can I tell you? Before I'd watched it, Palisa and I were on a call, and she's like, girl, please go watch the reunion, because if you thought you hated Vuyi then...
Bar for bar. I said, if you ever thought I can't hate her more, or if you thought I feel about her, go watch. Go watch. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
No, I hate
everything. And I saw, I don't know where, I think she posted, and then Peladi commented under her post, and then she called herself like when you're the sacrifice, I don't know which word exactly she said, but she basically called herself a sacrifice, and then Peladi laughed, almost like she went to sacrifice herself for the goodness of their little group.
What? Okay.
I was like, what?
Great for you, I guess. I actually saw a tweet that said it had a picture of Vuyi and Her Majesty, and it was going on about the fact that there could have been a storyline about two widow moms that are like trying to figure out how to do this painting thing with their daughters. That could have been their storyline, but instead.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was starting like that. It seemed like it was starting like that. And the gag is, like, we saw some beautiful bits, like when she was going to Her Majesty's kids and was saying, okay, listen, your mom is overwhelmed, went with them to hospital. We saw that, but what sucks, Mama, is that the bad overshadowed the good.
Absolutely.
So much, because there was definitely beautiful moments, and there was definitely moments where you realize these people are helping each other. They hold each other's hands. They are seeing, they see each other in a way other people won't be able to see, them. And they've got each other, and they've always had each other clearly before the show and even during. I don't know about after. But nonetheless, like, you know what I mean?
And the worst part is that they're neighbors.
No.
So they can't even run away from each other. I can't wait for part 2.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more to come.
Yo.
They're bringing out the kids. They're bringing out Rosette.
Wait.
Like, I'm so excited.
Mrs. Sunday.
Oh, God.
Wait.
Oh, God.
Also, we didn't talk about her because what is there to say about that woman?
There's nothing to say about her.
There's nothing to say about her. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, even Tommy said, you can sense it. So, like, and I
Dude,
get it. Like,
I love that question. She even said,
that is the only relevant.
She's like, what happens? Can you not control yourself? Like, what's going on? Like, self-control?
That was the only relevant thing about Miss Sunday was when they asked that question, which really, truly, because she's the same person in and out, the same time, whatever. But what I really liked about her was this time around, she was a little more honest with who she is and herself, in the sense that she's admitted she was being spicy. She didn't seem like she was running away too much. I mean, she was still Miss Sunday in some moments, but she wasn't running away. But my favorite moments was when they're talking about when Uvu, you were saying Noxie and Miss Sunday are the same. Yes. And then she turned around and said to Miss Sunday, "Isn't that what you were doing?" And then Miss Sunday says, "No, I wasn't doing that. I was actively being spicy. I was being, that was my intention. My intentions and Noxie's intentions and Noxie's reasoning is not the same as mine." And I said, "Perky Mama, one step to freedom, Winnie Mandela." But I have nothing to say about you because really, truly, like, Mama, you're just there. And even next season,
I hope she doesn't come back.
Like, I don't mind. I think this is like a sport for her. I think it's fine.
The thing is, she's wasting airtime. Like, we could be seeing another scene outside of her and boring stuff. No. They didn't even bring like the nannies and stuff like that. That's how out of tune.
We didn't even get one scene from the nannies because there we were. The nannies were drinking Savannah and going off. It was nice. Like, we were seeing real things there. It was so nice. I miss those days. How about we go to a tavern and shoot?
Damn, that was so funny.
Instead, we were at Amman, up and down, side and side at Amman, in the parking lot, outside the parking lot,
in the car.
No. Let's go to the tavern and drink some Savannah, some Benini, and let's talk. And let's talk about our bosses. You see, when Miss Sunday was talking about how she's a liar, let's have that. Let's have her
chats we want
tell another nanny that, oh my gosh, she claims she's gonna take me to school, but she's a liar. Like,
she's always said this.
It's sad.
And nothing ever gets done. I love that. No,
I love it. For cleaning day, it's like they're gonna come and they're gonna talk about tips and tricks, but instead they're gonna talk about their bosses. Let's do that because that's what we liked to see. In case you
that's what the Mommy Club is about.
And it was the first show to do that. I used to think that was such a beautiful thing. Like, they're the first show to do that, and also finding out that they actually pay the Aussies was also a beautiful. I thought it was so beautiful for them to bring Mommy Club, to bring the mummies that help technically, because those are the Aussies are like the kids' mothers as well. To bring those people as well, and to have them speak, and to have them have a platform, and to have them being represented as well was beautiful to me, because it's a career and people do it, and people like
it helps them also build brands.
Exactly. Like, my mom always says, it doesn't matter what you do, it's about how you do it different so you can make more money. And I think it's showing us that there's other ways to make money out there. There's ways to be a cleaner, like Mbadin Klapu. She's a cleaner, but look at the empire she's built based on cleaning. Like, you must never undermine that Omuntu just a gardener or just a whatever, and you think it's nothing. They can start something, they can make money from that. And this platform was showing that as well. And I think them taking that out, them taking out the kids, that was their first mistake. That's where I can say production was wrong. Because I know they talk about production twisting their words. No, let's focus on other things that production did, because no one put words in your mouth. But production did. I think they could have put more emphasis on that like they used to. That was very disappointing on my part. If you're watching this, Pop 24 and Showmax, I didn't like that.
And she just went in.
Did not enjoy.
No.
But I get that off my chest.
I definitely think that they see where they went wrong. I think they see their flaws. They read the comments. They even had emergency meetings. They released statements. This, that, and
the emergency meetings where they were blamed.
Like, they did a lot. So I think that they took notes, and I'm hoping that if they come back next season, they're going to come back better. They're gonna come back knowing exactly what it is that the public like. Because what's the point of having Mommy Club if it's gonna be like Real Housewives of Durban? Like
We
that's its
have
own
that.
franchise. We watch that for that. When we turn to Mommy Club, we're there like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. We want to see the kids. We want to see the moms. We want to see the nannies. We want to see the houses. We want to see family. We want to see motherhood, sisterhood.
And there was
All
all
of
beef
that.
in that. Just beef where people are not literally trying to kill each other.
Literally, like the parties that we had, like for the kids.
Yes, and they
And
talk
then there's
about the
drama
party pack.
the
Yes, the music, make a booty bounce fast, make a booty bounce. The real ones know. The real ones know. Make a booty bounce fast.
Oh my gosh, no, real.
That's the drama I want to hear.
Wait for part 2. Part 2 of the reunion is coming.
Very exciting stuff.
This
Saturday.
Saturday, and we'll be back for that one as
We
well.
will, but for now, bye bye.